Today we will be covering a true story, so there won't be any jokes in this one. Robert Deshaun Peace, fondly called Sean, is a brilliant kid who excels in math and science. His mother Jackie Peace and drug dealer father Robert Skeet Douglas are separated, and he lives with Jackie and Jackie's parents, Horace and Frances. In 1987 in East Orange, New Jersey, Skeet fetches 7-year-old Sean from Jackie's house and takes him to his apartment building, where they listen to a game on the radio with Skeet's old neighbor Irving by the main door. Later, the Moore sisters, Charlene and Estella, go out of the building, and Estella briefly talks to Skeet. Estella's drunk friend Georgiana arrives and totters towards them. When Skeet asks them where they're going, Estella invites him to drink with them, but he declines. The next day, the Moore sisters are shot in their unit, and a man hurriedly runs out of the building. Skeet is arrested for the murders of Charlene and Estella, but he maintains his innocence. During Jackie and Sean's visit, Skeet says he doesn't know what's going on. The police have searched his apartment, have taken his gun, and are not getting him a lawyer yet. 3 years later, Skeet goes to trial and is found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder. When Judge Weiss asks Skeet if he wants to say something before sentencing, he says he didn't commit the crime and doesn't know why he's accused. He says he doesn't know the witness Georgiana, whom he points to in the courtroom, and that he doesn't know how she can identify his voice from an argument down the hall. He adds that the first time he saw her was the day before, when she was so drunk that she couldn't have told him whether it was Hanukkah or Halloween. When Weiss tells him that he's honestly struggling with the decision, a helpless Skeet looks over to 10-year-old Sean, who's looking back at him. Horace tells Jackie and Frances that Skeet never stood a chance because it'll be difficult to be free once the police get the lock on you. He adds that at least Skeet was given life and not the death penalty. Jackie decides to put Sean in a private school after he finishes elementary school in 3 years to protect him. She fears that if the people around him only see him as the son of a convict, that'll be the only way he will see himself. When Sean asks how they're going to get Skeet out because he's innocent, Jackie tells him that the best thing he can do for both his parents is to remain brilliant. She urges him to use his first name Robert or Rob Peace instead of Sean to keep Skeet in his heart if he wants to, and because everybody who knows Sean knows about the Moore sisters and Skeet's conviction. She tells him that as far as anybody knows, Rob Peace has nothing to do with Skeet Douglas. In 1994, Rob attends St. Benedict's Prep School in Newark, New Jersey, which encourages strengthening the bonds of brotherhood and trains the students in sports and sciences, fencing, water polo, and trips along the Appalachian Trail, among others. Rob becomes friends with Curtis and Tavares, and in their class, Rob gets straight A's and ranks first with a 4.0 GPA. Rob studies Skeet's case despite Jackie's disapproval. He visits Skeet with his case folder and tells him that a public defender should have seen him as an indigent and joined his case straight away since he didn't have money after his house on Pearson Street burned down. His trial would have started 3 years earlier, and Irving would still be alive to testify that Skeet was innocent and that the murder weapon wasn't his. Rob says he can file it for him, and since it's a violation of the Sixth Amendment, which guarantees the right to a speedy trial, he is entitled to post-conviction relief. In 1998, Weiss dismisses Skeet's indictment as he believes that Irving's death in the interim period was of significant negative impact on the case. Until the state appeals within 30 days, Skeet is free to go. Rob gets accepted to Yale, and Jackie cries tears of joy. Shortly after, Skeet gets a call informing him that the state has appealed and he will be returning to prison the following week. Rob promises his devastated father that it'll be temporary, hopeful that they can find a way to free him again. Rob attends Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, and takes molecular biophysics and biochemistry as a major. There he meets his roommate, Jeff Hobbs. Since Rob's tuition is taken care of because of how smart he is, he only has to worry about his other expenses, which he covers by working in a kitchen. He balances this with keeping high grades and attending his water polo practices. To keep Skeet's situation a secret, Rob screens the calls their room gets and asks Skeet not to call him there, saying he'll be the one calling and visiting him. Rob impresses his water polo coach and teammates with his skills. He then becomes friends with fellow students Oswaldo and Naya. Rob spends Thanksgiving with Jackie, Horace, and Frances, and he happily tells them about his course. When Frances asks him what he's going to do after he graduates, he tells his family that he'll go into research for new cancer treatments and immunology. He'll take a PhD, become a professor, and open his own lab one day. Proud of Rob, Horace says, "Professor Peace Cures Cancer" would be an amazing headline. Rob visits Skeet and informs him that the soonest court date they're given is in 5 months and it'll be presided over by a new judge, which concerns Skeet because Weiss believe that he's innocent. Skeet asks how much he can put together to get a good lawyer, suggesting he ask the people who paid for his tuition and his rich schoolmates for help. But Rob tells him that can't be. An angry Skeet tells him that they're trying to send him back to Trenton and bury him there. He also reminds him that he promised to get him out, and he's all he has. Rob, Tavares, and Curtis share their current hardships. Rob with his dad's situation, Curtis with his family's situation, and Tavares with his real estate job. Rob shares that Yale got him thinking about wealth and legacy, and Tavares shares that there's money in flipping houses, thinking the abandoned homes in the neighborhood are perfect for it. Inspired by Skeet, Rob works harder to pull his life together and create balance. To improve in lab work, Rob talks to his lab professor, Professor Durham, who is impressed by his paper. Although he's still a freshman, she offers that he assist grad students in the lab, which is usually offered to sophomores and up, and he accepts. Rob grows nervous about Skeet's upcoming appeal as he thinks he's going to lose. Unfortunately, Judge Stern unequivocally sides with the state's counter-appeal. It is overturned and Skeet is sent back to Trenton Correctional Institution to serve out the remainder of his sentence. Rob consults lawyer Tom Rivers, who tells him that he can win the case, but it's going to be expensive. He says their basis would be Skeet was treated unfairly by the system, even if he was guilty. He points out the things that hint that Skeet might be guilty and tells him that the objective facts are not on his side. When Rob later tells Jackie about it, Jackie reveals to him that Skeet has been violent to her before, but she didn't want to tarnish his view of Skeet, shocking Rob. Rob finally shares Skeet's situation with Naya, who's now his girlfriend. She tells him that none of it is his fault and he deserves to live a good life of his own. In 2001 junior year, Jeff opens Rob's room to answer the phone that keeps ringing in there, prompting him to learn about Skeet being in the Trenton Correctional Facility. During a visit, Skeet informs Rob that he has been diagnosed with brain cancer and has 6 months left to live. Rob promises to get him out and take care of him. Rob reminds him that he studies cancer and its medications, which he can buy for him. He tells him he loves him and he won't fight it alone, and assures him that he can see him graduate. Rob starts studying more about brain cancer and decides to start selling weed to raise money for Skeet. After Tavares brings in the bulk weed from Florida, Rob treats the buds with cannabis oil and butane to make them more potent using school lab equipment. He uses Curtis's basement as his laboratory and where they pack the goods. When Tavares and Curtis like it, Rob tells them that if it goes well, they can start flipping abandoned houses and they can all turn their lives around so their children can have better lives. Rob starts selling in school and quickly earns a lot that he is able to buy Skeet's medication and get Tom as Skeet's lawyer. At the same time, Rob maintains good standing in school, and Durham tells him he should start applying for PhD programs as soon as possible, and he'll have her full recommendation to a top-flight school. When Naya learns that Rob has become the biggest dealer on campus, Naya and Rob fight. She understands why he's doing it, but she disapproves of him throwing his life away for someone who might be a murderer. She also informs him that he could have raised money by organizing a charity event. Durham notices the missing equipment and catches Rob returning them. Although she's curious about what he uses them for, she decides not to ask. Rob tells her that he doesn't want to let her down and quietly leaves. The next day, Rob sees security on their way up to his room, so he quickly wakes Tavares to help him hide the storage box that contains his drug money and asks Jeff to stall them. Rob and Tavares drop his storage box out of his window, and Rob asks Tavares to take it to Skeet's friend, Carl, and say that it's clothes. After security checks both Rob and Jeff's rooms, Rob is called to face the university higher-ups. Jeff tells Naya what's happening, prompting her to check on Rob. He informs her that since they didn't find anything, Durham convinced the higher-ups to let him graduate, but she's rescinding her recommendation, so he won't be getting into any post-grad program soon. He apologizes and tries to make up with her, but she informs him that she'll return to Rio after graduation to help her mom. She adds that she can't be with him unless he stops dealing. Rob visits Skeet, who tells him that he didn't think he'd be around to see him graduate and tells him he's proud of him. Rob asks Skeet if he killed the sisters, saying he needs to know the truth, and they never talked about it. Skeet gets hurt as he takes it as Rob not believing him the entire time and tells him that he's dying, so it doesn't matter anymore. Rob tries to explain and says he doesn't want to let go of him, but Skeet kicks him out of his room. Soon Skeet dies. In 2004, Rob, Tavares, and Curtis start planning about how they're going to start their house flipping business and turn East Orange into a better neighborhood. To have starting money, Rob gets a job as St. Benedict's teacher and water polo coach. Rob asks Oswaldo, who has a large-scale contracting company, for reduced labor costs for a significant share of his company, Peace Realty. Oswaldo then tells him what he needs to achieve so that they can start their partnership. Although Peace Realty becomes a success, Jackie and St. Benedict's headmaster Father Leahy urge Rob to leave and chase bigger dreams. Because of this, Rob starts applying to graduate schools again. In 2008, a financial collapse, which affects those in stocks and real estate, cripples Peace Realty and puts them in a huge debt. This affects Tavares the most because he put everything he has on it, and he now has nothing for his son. Seeing that Skeet's old house is foreclosed, he asks current owners Michael and Sheila Tucker, who are Skeet's friends, what's going to happen to it. Michael and Sheila later say that Skeet is innocent and that they're proud of him for finding the loophole before. When Rob asks how they're sure of his innocence, they show him a photo of Skeet holding his gun, which is not the murder weapon. They say the police wanted to close the case, and they could after Irving died. Michael says he couldn't testify because he has done stuff before, and the police were threatening him. They say Jackie knows, but they all just decided to be quiet because speaking up will do more harm than good. When Rob later confronts Jackie, she says she didn't tell him because his doubt is the reason he pushed back against Skeet. Since Skeet is fine with Rob suffering just to get him out, she chose Rob over Skeet. Rob then visits Skeet's grave and buries his photo there. To pay all their debts and build their life again, Rob asks Oswaldo for a $10,000 loan, promising to return it in 6 weeks. He proposes to Oswaldo, Curtis, and Tavares that they buy 50 pounds of bulk weed from the Connect in Florida, convert it, and serve it in the streets for a 2,000% return. He also proposes to hire mules to avoid the gangs in New Jersey and keep their identity hidden. Oswaldo loans him the money but doesn't join them. Rob's mule, Kamar, is cornered by rival gangs. Meanwhile, Rob distributes their initial profit to Jackie and Tavares, whom he asks to stop drug dealing because he now has money to start over. Soon, Curtis and Rob are shocked to see Kamar outside Curtis's house, as he isn't supposed to know anything about them. Curtis hands Rob a gun, but Rob gives it back to him, thinking that Kamar just wants a cut of their profit. Unarmed, Rob steps out to face Kamar, who confronts him for lying about being a gang member. A car pulls over, and 2 armed masked men chase Rob into Curtis's house, prompting Curtis to shoot back. Rob tells Curtis to run, and while he does, Rob is fatally shot. Everyone who knew Rob mourns his death, especially Jackie, Naya, and Father Leahy. Jackie wishes she could have seen the world he would create, which she is sure would have been beautiful.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.